Hi, I'm Rob Jackson. I'm honored to serve as your superintendent of schools in the Carteret County Public School System. I'm joined today by one of my heroes. This is one of our school nurses, Miss Janet Eakes. Nurse Eakes, welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Jackson.
Our school nurses have been absolutely incredible to work with. Throughout this pandemic, our nurses have come together from across the school system to provide their experience, their expertise, their caring hearts to ensure that all the decisions we've been making were informed by our medical experts. And I certainly appreciate Nurse Eakes and all of her colleagues. Thank you so much for being such a delight to work with.
Thank you.
Let's kind of start, as we have this opportunity to chat for a few moments, by talking about how's it going in our schools in terms of our health and wellness protocols.
I think all of our schools can say at this time of the year we're a little bit tired,
Right.
but I think across the board we can all say we've all reflected on the fact that we have been an example to other counties. We have implemented the guidelines as universal among our different schools as we can. We've tried to maintain, consistency with our guidelines, and that's been our guidance for all things COVID. We dialogue with each other on a regular basis. We have great communication with our administrators, our parents, our community. So all in all, I think we've made the best out of this situation that we possibly could have, but we are ready for a break.
I completely understand that. And I very much appreciate the conscientious nature of our teachers and principals and teacher assistants and bus drivers and child nutrition workers, our custodians, all who are involved in our school system, including our school nurses, for daily ensuring that we're doing everything we can to follow the 3 W's and all of our other guidelines. Nurse Eakes, what are those 3 W's?
We must wash our hands on a regular basis. When we see patients, when we see students, between students, we are always washing our hands. We're using hand sanitizer when we don't have access to water. We're wearing our mask consistently and correctly. We have to cover our nose, we have to cover our mouth. We have to wear our mask correctly. We have to nudge our students when we see them not wearing their mask correctly as well. And we have to wait 6 feet apart. And I think with our elementary students, it's no longer a requirement according to the guidelines, but we are still doing our part to, it's definitely a recommendation. So we're making sure that we're waiting 6 feet apart. And then our middle schools and high schoolers, of course, they're required to maintain that 6 feet apart. And we definitely continue to, just remind students when we see them a little too close in the hall to maintain that space between, but we have been consistent among our schools, waiting 6 feet apart.
Absolutely, and thank you for kind of giving us that primer and reminding us of the 3 W's, because it is so very important. And we do need occasional reminders, whether we're a student or an adult, and so holding each other accountable is really important. As we follow the guidelines that we've been given, as we make sure we're doing things, and sometimes making changes based on the guidance changing that we receive from the state or from nationally, and so we're doing that work as well. I am, again, very thankful for our school nurses and for their expertise and their guidance in this moment and helping us all do our part to minimize the impact of the pandemic on education in our schools. One of the things I'm curious about as we approach the holiday season, what are the kind of things that we can do at home to help ourselves to ensure that when we're able to come back to school, we're ready to come back to school? What are the kind of things that families could be doing?
We need to follow these same principles, and of course it's the holiday time of the year. We want to see family. We want to make things as normal as we can, but we have to keep in mind we have a pandemic that we've never seen times like this before. So we must maintain the same things that we're doing at school. We need to try to do at home, and if we do have to see folks, if we do go outside of our homes and seeing people we haven't seen in a while, if we have any travel, we've got to maintain washing our hands frequently, waiting the 6 feet. And this is not going to be forever. If we do this right, we're going to get through this and look back and say, what a challenging year, but we were able to do it, and we just need to push through this year and make it happen, because our kiddos are ready to be here in school every day as normal like they used to be. We want to get there quickly.
Absolutely, and we do want to get there quickly, and so certainly we want to make sure that in our homes, as we go forward into the holiday season, we want to encourage you to continue to follow the 3 W's, to be thoughtful about who you spend time with, because we're looking forward to our children being back in our schools. Recently, our Board of Education approved about a week and a half as we return from our winter break to be fully remote so that we can get past any post-winter holiday spike. How does that help us in the schools in terms of delaying coming back and going remote for, it's about a week and a half.
Sure.
How does that help us out in the schools?
Well, I want to speak specifically to that time frame. When I listened yesterday, the 14 days post-exposure is such a critical time. Of course, we want to be vigilant about monitoring our own symptoms, but that is the time frame that the hashtag SafeSchoolsNC has given us as guidance. That 14 days post-exposure to somebody is a critical time frame. So obviously we know that we have folks that are asymptomatic carriers. They do not show any symptoms, or perhaps they show their only symptom is a sinus or allergy related symptom, and it's not one of the classic 5 symptoms of COVID. So we really want to monitor our symptoms that 14-day post return to whatever outside exposure we had, whether that was a vacation or a travel or whatever the exposure was. So I think it's really important. I think timing of exposure, that's the key. That is the key.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for that. And we are extremely hopeful that by having that virtual bubble as we're returning from the winter holidays allows us that full 14 days, so that when we all return to this amazing school year, it's a tough school year, it's an unprecedented challenge, but we're doing such a great job. Our students are doing such a great job, our teachers and faculty are doing such a great job, and we want to continue this amazing year. And our opportunity to continue this amazing year really rests on the steps that we each take individually to keep ourselves safe, to follow the 3 W's. And as you shared, to really take a look at the guidance that's been shared with us through hashtag SafeSchoolsNC. Nurse Eakes, thank you for what you're doing every single day for our students and staff, and thank you to your colleagues. Again, I want to share how amazing our school nurses have been in helping us ensure that our protocols, our processes are exactly what they need to be to keep our students and staff healthy. As we do approach the holidays, on behalf of our Board of Education, on behalf of our faculty throughout the school system, I want to wish you and your family the happiest of holidays. We are, we have been, and we will remain Carteret Strong.